Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, your goals always seem just one step ahead, unreachable? What if I told you that the secret to transforming your reality is already within you, and that, with simple visualization techniques, you can reprogram your mind and start seeing changes in just 1 hour? This might sound abstract or even exaggerated, but the truth is, your brain is already doing this all the time, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you programming your mind for success or for frustration? Today, you're going to learn proven techniques that can completely change the way you think, act, and, consequently, attract results in your life. These aren't just motivational ideas, there's actual science behind them, and I'm going to show you exactly how and why this works. But before we dive into these techniques, think about this: how many times have you imagined a negative scenario, only for it to actually happen? That's because your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined, it simply follows the direction you give it. Now, what if you learn to use this power to your advantage? What if, instead of focusing on fear and uncertainty, you started mentally projecting the life you want, with clarity and detail? That's exactly what we're about to explore. We'll understand why visualization has a real impact on your brain and how you can use it to turn your thoughts into reality. If our mind truly shapes our reality, how does this happen in practice? To answer this question, we need to understand a fundamental principle of neuroscience: the brain does not differentiate between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined. This means that by repeatedly visualizing something with clarity and emotion, your brain interprets it as if it were actually happening. Sounds like science fiction? Well, there are fascinating studies on this. In a famous experiment, scientists analyzed 2 groups of people who had never played the piano before. The first group practiced scales on a real piano every day. The second group only imagined playing the scales, without ever touching a keyboard. The result? The brains of both groups showed very similar changes in the motor areas associated with learning music. In other words, simple visualization had a physical impact on the brain. This happens because the brain is shaped by what we call neuroplasticity, the ability to reorganize and create new neural connections throughout life. When you visualize a goal with clarity, you are training your brain to recognize and seek out opportunities aligned with that goal. Another key mechanism behind visualization is the reticular activating system, RAS. This part of the brain acts as a filter, selecting which information is relevant to you. That's why, when you buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. Your brain isn't perceiving more information, it's simply becoming more attuned to what was already there. Now, imagine applying this principle to your life. When you visualize a goal in detail, you reprogram your RAS to notice opportunities, connections, and resources that you previously overlooked. Highly successful people, such as elite athletes and top business leaders, have been using this technique for decades. Michael Phelps, one of the greatest swimmers of all time, revealed that he mentally rehearsed his races before every competition. He would see himself swimming every meter, feel the water, hear the sounds around him, and even imagine setbacks, like his goggles filling with water. When something actually went wrong during a race, he didn't panic, because, in his mind, he had already lived through it many times. This isn't limited to sports. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey openly discuss the power of visualization. Oprah, for example, revealed that she had always envisioned her career long before achieving it. She didn't just dream of success, she saw herself already living that future. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I apply this in my daily life? The answer lies in the quality of your visualization. Most people make the mistake of only thinking superficially about a goal, without truly connecting emotionally to it. For the technique to work, your mind needs to believe that it is already happening. To better understand this, think of your brain as a mental GPS. If you simply say, "I want a better life," it doesn't know where to take you. But if you specify, "I want a job that pays me $10,000 a month, gives me time freedom, and allows me to travel," you are giving your brain a clear destination. And it's not enough to just visualize your goal in a cold, detached way. You need to feel the emotion of the achievement. Your brain must experience the future before it happens. When this occurs, your mind works in your favor to find ways to get there. Now that we understand how visualization works and why it's so powerful, it's time to learn how to apply it correctly. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 3 highly effective techniques to transform your thoughts into reality in a practical and proven way. Now that you understand the power of visualization and how it influences your brain, it's time to put it into practice. And for that, let's get straight to the point: 3 incredibly effective techniques that will help you transform your reality. These techniques are simple but require consistency and emotional engagement. The good news? Anyone can apply them, and the results can be surprising. Let's get started. The first technique is based on a fundamental principle: the brain processes images much better than words. When you vividly and realistically imagine something, your mind responds as if you were experiencing it in real time. To apply this technique correctly, follow these steps. Keycap 1: Define a clear goal. It's not enough to say, "I want to be successful." Ask yourself, what does that mean? What would my daily routine look like? Where would I be? Who would I be with? Keycap 2: Engage your senses. When visualizing, ask yourself, what do I see around me? What sounds do I hear? What am I feeling emotionally and physically? Is there a specific smell or taste associated with this experience? Keycap 3: Increase emotional intensity. Emotion amplifies the effect of visualization. If you're aiming for a new job, for example, feel the excitement of receiving the call confirming your hiring. Now, let's do a quick test. Close your eyes for a few seconds and imagine that you have just achieved your biggest dream. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. The more real it seems, the greater the impact on your brain. This technique is incredibly powerful because the more you practice, the more your brain adapts to this reality. But visualization alone isn't enough, you need to reinforce the message. And that's where the next technique comes in. If the first technique focuses on mental visualization, this next one strengthens the impact of writing on your subconscious. Studies show that writing down your goals significantly increases the likelihood of achieving them because your brain interprets them as commands to follow. One of the most effective ways to apply this is through the 5x55 method. Here's how it works. Keycap 1: Choose an affirmation that represents your goal. Examples: I am grateful for my new job that pays $10,000 per month. I am healthy, full of energy, and my life is in balance. Keycap 2: Write this statement 55 times for 5 consecutive days. It may seem simple, but the effect is powerful. By repeating this affirmation, you are programming your mind to believe in it. Keycap 3: Feel the emotion of the result as you write. If you write mechanically, without emotion, it won't work. Imagine yourself living that reality while writing. What makes this technique special is that writing activates areas of the brain responsible for planning and action, making the goal feel more real to your mind. Now, there's a specific time of day when your mind is even more receptive to mental programming. And that's exactly what we'll discuss in the third technique. Few people know this, but the moments before sleep are the most powerful for reprogramming your mind. During this time, your brain enters a state called alpha, making it highly receptive to suggestions. Great minds like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla used this state to generate innovative ideas. You can use it to accelerate the manifestation of your goals. Here's how it works. Keycap 1: Before bed, lie down and completely relax. Take a few deep breaths and close your eyes. Keycap 2: Create a mental movie of your goal achieved. Imagine in detail what your life would look like if your goal were already accomplished. Keycap 3: Feel yourself inside that scene. See yourself in the setting, interacting with people, living that reality. Keycap 4: Stay in this state for as long as possible. The more real it feels, the stronger the impact on your subconscious. This technique works because, while you sleep, your brain continues processing the last pieces of information from the day, reinforcing them as reality. Now that you know the 3 techniques, how can you ensure they become part of your routine? Now that you've learned 3 incredibly effective techniques for programming your mind and manifesting your goals, there's one essential question: how do you ensure this becomes a habit and brings real results? The answer is consistency. There's no point in visualizing once and expecting your life to magically change. The key is to make this a part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. The more you practice, the faster your mind adapts and the sooner results will start appearing. But how do you turn this into a habit naturally? Here are 3 essential steps. Keycap 1: Link visualization to an existing habit. The best way to make a new habit stick is to attach it to something you already do daily. For example, In the morning, do your deep sensory visualization right after waking up, before checking your phone. Before bed, practice the mental movie so your subconscious works on it while you sleep. After breakfast, write in your manifestation journal. When you integrate this practice into your routine, it becomes automatic, and that's what makes the difference in the long run. Keycap 2: Overcoming self-sabotage. It's common for the initial motivation to fade after a few days, and that little voice inside your head starts saying, "Small orange diamond, this isn't working. Small orange diamond, I don't have time for this. Small orange diamond, maybe this is just nonsense." This is your brain's defense mechanism against change. But you can counter it with 2 simple strategies. White heavy checkmark the 5-second rule. When you feel hesitation or doubt, count down in your mind, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action immediately. This disrupts the self-sabotage pattern. White heavy checkmark the consistency journal. Mark a white heavy checkmark every day you practice these techniques. Seeing your progress reinforces the habit and prevents you from giving up. Keycap 3: How do you know it's working? Many people start visualizing and expect massive changes overnight. But the first signs that your mind is being reprogrammed are often subtle. Here are some indicators that your brain is beginning to process your new beliefs. Heavy checkmark: you notice more opportunities related to your goal. Heavy checkmark: people and situations start appearing as if by coincidence. Heavy checkmark: you feel more confident and experience less internal resistance. Heavy checkmark: your mindset shifts, you focus more on solutions than on problems. The truth is, any major transformation begins with small daily adjustments. The hardest part is getting started, but once visualization becomes a habit, your brain takes over and makes it work automatically. Now that you know exactly how to build consistency and avoid self-sabotage, there's only one step left: put everything into action immediately. Now it's time to take action. Now that you understand how visualization reprograms your brain, which techniques are most effective, and how to make it a lasting habit, there's only one thing left to do: take action now. The difference between those who achieve results and those who stay stuck in the same routine is application. Many people watch content like this, feel motivated for a few minutes, and then go back to their old habits. Don't let that happen to you. If you've made it this far, it's because you know you need a change. And that change starts today. Grab a piece of paper or open a notes app right now and write down your goal in detail. Then, choose one of the 3 techniques we covered and practice it today. I challenge you to try this for at least 7 days and see what happens. And when you start noticing those first signs of change, come back here and share your results in the comments. I want to hear your success stories. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this with someone who needs to hear this message. The more people apply these techniques, the more minds will be transformed. And remember, you have the power to create your reality. It all starts in your mind. Now it's your turn to make it happen. Rock it.